Yo, hello and welcome to the channel. If you're here, that means you were looking for a beginner guide on DanMachi Memoria Freese. If that's the case, well, stay here, we're going to get straight into it. If that's not the case and you are a returning player who's just transferred over to the European version, this video is probably still not for you. In fact, this whole video series that I'm about to make probably isn't for you. I wanted to take a brief minute before we get into explaining the whole user interface, which is what this episode is based on, and just quickly go over something really significant, and that will be the first time you come in, the gacha that you get. It's important. Well, the game will explain it to you. There is a difference between adventurer and assists. We will go over that in a different video, but for now we're going to focus strictly on this gacha. It's important to note that this gacha, I'm just going to skip the animation for now, right? This gacha has an unlimited amount of redos, which is fantastic. It means there's no need to re-roll your account if you're just starting out. However, it is also important to note that this gacha can get you anywhere from a 2-star to a 4-star, and you will know the difference because significantly there is differences in how they look. Primarily being that 4 stars have a rainbow border. I'm just gonna keep going here. If I don't get one right now, I'll probably skip ahead until when I do get one, and we'll move on to the next bit. Okay guys, welcome back. As you can see, after many redos, I managed to pull a 4-star copy of Belle, and we're gonna, well, because this isn't my main account and I've started this account specifically for the purpose of this video series, I'm just gonna click yes and stick to this. I haven't actually looked into what units you can possibly get on that starting gacha, but okay guys, so you've just jumped into the game. The game has given you your first free single gacha. You've kept re-rolling on that gacha until you have your 4-star. Then you're dropped into the middle of Aurelio with no clue what to do. Well, you'll see the first thing that you notice right here is this very large notification above your head. I may have to turn down the voices if it's up. Okay, as you'll see, there are 3 tabs: daily, total and time limited, and they are self-explanatory. Daily gives you a list of quests that you can complete to get 10 iris in total. Total quests are literally the quests that you can fulfill across the lifespan of your account. I don't think there's much of an end to it. And then time limited is exactly what it says it is. It's limited to whatever events are available currently. As you can see the Nightmare Academia is the current event. But more importantly, over these 3, you'll come down here and you will see the rookie missions. This essentially is a list of tutorial missions that they get to explain the game to you. Now, although the rewards are very good, and when you come to the end of them, sorry, let me just get down here. When you come to the end of them, when I get there, you get a rainbow summoning ticket, which basically guarantees you a 4-star when you summon. It's a completely separate banner to any banner that is currently available. It's a specific banner for rainbow tickets. Now, after you clear those rookie adventure quests, you will move on to a higher tier of adventure quests, and so on and so forth. I think there are 3 tiers currently, the last being expert. Now, back to the user interface, which is the core of this video. We'll come over here to character. Now, from here you'll see party, which is self-explanatory in itself. You basically have 6 slots. the sub slots are locked, you can see here, until you reach rank 10 and then rank 20. Essentially what this means is you have 4 main characters in your team. If any one of those characters should die, they are swapped out for the substitute. There is no wrong way to build teams here. You just have to use your imagination and use your head a little bit to think what characters would blend well together. Team building will be something I cover in a separate video. Status board. Status board may be a little bit intimidating for a new player if you haven't played the game before, but essentially what this is a type of limit break system which requires these material of multiple colours called fauna. Basically, once you collect enough fauna to fill this entire board, you rank up to the next board. There are 4 boards in total for you to complete. Every time you rank up, you increase the maximum level your character reach. Once you've done that, come back out here, sorry, we have the level enhancement. Basically, to complete your status board, you need to be at the maximum level that you could potentially be at that point. Do this using Exalia books. I will cover those in a different area. Then we have Hero Ascension. This is basically a type of limit breaking. Once you hero ascend, you have to unlock it first using hero lights, which I will cover shortly. These yellow stars will turn pink, so a maximum of 5 pink stars. All this does is, well, I say all this does, but it's actually quite important. It gives a very large buff to your stats. Then we have the hero list, and you'll notice each the character list. You'll notice each character has a CP level next to their name. This stands for character points. As each character levels up their CP, you gain rewards, including Iris, which is the premium currency in this game, if you didn't know. Next, we move over to Interact. Interact is basically let's call it what it is. It's fan service. You can come here and interact with the characters that you've unlocked after you unlock them, try on new outfits, and as their CP levels up, they have their own storyline and quests. Each quest has a reward, as you can see. It's not a bad way to earn stones if you've completed everything else. Guild, if you've watched the anime, you understand that Guild is essentially where you come to get your main quests. I've covered this. The shortcut is over here. Blacksmith, self-explanatory, is where you buy armor and weapons or craft armor and weapons. You will unlock new armor and weapons as you level up, as you complete quests, and as you unlock characters. Gacha. This pretty much speaks for itself. It is a gacha game, and when a new banner is available and you have enough premium currency, i.e. Iris in this case, you can summon a banner. The only thing this game does differently from a lot of others is they separate stones that you've purchased and stones that you've earned. As you'll notice here, it says this is a paid banner, which means you can only use this banner if you've purchased 400 Iris, and this guarantees a 4-star. I will say this, if you're a new player and you are free to play, let me go back in here. I definitely need to turn those voices down. Once you've reached the 10th multi-summon on a banner, do not summon anymore, because then you will be subject to the worst rates possible with no guarantees. I say worst rates, I don't mean that the rates in this game are horrible, it's just it's not worth it, especially if you're free to play. Now, let's go over to shop. Naturally, this is where the microtransactions happen. I will say this game does have some nice bundles, especially the passport, which is very, very much worth it. This is a pretty free-to-play friendly game, but if you want to spend money on the game, it's not that bad. There are worse games. Item shop. These fauna orbs open the fauna quest, which basically the different colours are available to farm on different days of the week, except for Sunday when they're all available. This is a currency you will not need to know about until later on, and I will cover in a different video. Event exchange. These essentially are the shops for each event. Each new time limited event has its own shop and currency that you farm in that event. You then come over here and trade in that currency for said rewards. As you can see, the main reward here is a 4-star ticket, but currently the JP second anniversary coin are very valuable, so you want to grab as many of those as you can. And then we have Hero Light and Ascension fauna. These are used to ascend your hero. They're very hard to come by, so you shouldn't just be hero ascending every unit you get. You need to be a little bit tighter with how you spend it. Anyway, these two are locked because you currently haven't finished enough of the storyline and you're not a high enough level. I say you, but I'm talking about this account that I've started strictly for this video. Arena is where the PvP and other PvP-ish events take place, like Monsterphilia, War Games, and Record Buster. Sorry, I drew a blank there for a second. Over here is Familia. If you've ever watched the anime, you understand what Familia is. It's essentially in this game a guild, but obviously guild is. Then you'll have the tab that you will be most in as a new player, and that is the quest tab. You'll see here story, boost, event, and dispatch. Story, 4 different chapters, 4 different characters. You will unlock them as you go. They are quite in depth. There are quite a lot of them, so feel free to take your time, but this is where you should be spending most of your time as you start out as a new player. Most of it is farmable pretty easily, and it doesn't require units to be that strong, but as you progress gradually, you will earn a lot of stones that you should be summoning on the right banners. Always check out your YouTubers and see what they recommend if you should summon. But new aspects of the game will unlock as you complete these stories. Boost is where you'll come to farm Falna and Exalia books to increase your character's level, status board, farm materials to craft weapons and armor, and there is Valis. Valis is the in-game gold currency, which you shouldn't have any problem getting if you're just playing through the storyline. Event is for time limited events. I know currently Familia Rush just finished, and you will learn about that once you join a Familia and get far enough into the game, so I wouldn't worry too much. Dispatch. Once you get to a point where dispatch becomes available to you, do not sleep on this. It is a great way to get materials and even stones if you succeed without actually lifting a finger. If you played other gacha games, you should be aware of what dispatch missions are. Basically, you will send a team of heroes away, and over the course of say 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, depending on the difficulty of this dispatch mission, they will return successful or unsuccessful. If they are successful, you will earn yourself some materials, rewards, stones, etc. This is your gift box. In this game, being very free to play friendly, you'll see that there will always be stuff in it daily. When you are able to do so, the first thing that you should do above all else is make sure that you've secured your account. By doing so, you do so by coming over here to import, go to settings, create your import code or link it to a Facebook account. That way, if your app crashes and you need to uninstall it or lose your phone or anything like that, you can just save that information and transfer the account to a new device if you need to. Before we go, I will give you one more key piece of information that I skipped over, and that is there are 2 types of unit. You have heroes like such, and assists like such. Now, I'm a little bit foggy on the details of how assists stats influence your hero stats. Essentially, what you need to focus on are these skills and what buffs they give to your team or what debuffs they give to enemies. This is essentially the core and key part of team building, which I will cover in another video. I'm just briefly mentioning now. And the way you do that, I skipped over this as well, is go to status and you check your character's abilities. Notice a lot of these are locked because I haven't leveled him up and I haven't hero ascended him. The game can be quite vigorously grinding, but it is still pretty fun, and to be fair, if you're not one of those people that enjoy the grind, it can be run on automatic. Anyway guys, that should be the first of a series of beginner guides for you, the new players who have just started playing since the European launch in 2019. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description, and as always guys, I'll catch you later.